Welcome everyone to the Ballinesian podcast, episode 65, sponsored by Levasa Island Apparel. Shout out to brother Eri, brother Vaughn down there in Modesto, California. They just put on a big back to school supply drive with the Central Valley PIA. Shout out to them. Check them out on Instagram at Levasa or online www.levasaislandapparel.com. Exciting episode today. I am Lance Falatonga.
I'm Forrest.
Mike.
And we are joined today by rapper, battle rapper, executive producer, Dad Moli, Mack Moli in the house. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man. Glad to be here, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for that intro, man. Some of those titles I made up, so I'm glad you could respect those. You know what I mean?
Brother, got you. Mack Moli, aka Mack Moli, in the house. Follow him on Twitter. That's where I think that's where I started following you. It was on Twitter, and then just seeing everything else that you got going over the years, bro. It's definitely inspiring, and I know a lot of people look up to you. So it's really good to have you on the show to share some of your thoughts with us. So, man, let's get straight into it. We've this last week we saw the fires in Maui caused by the hurricane that just destroyed part of Lahaina town and a bunch of different areas. I know you guys have been seeing all those videos, right? The fires, people jumping into the water, all sorts of stuff. But we've also started to see the community coming together and the love and the support and really the outpouring of that community love. So that's good to see. Is there Forrest, you got family in Maui, yeah? What is
Yeah.
Have you heard anything, the latest, like what they need or what the situation is?
So right now, what they do need is going to be cases of water, clothing. They've got tons of blankets. They got tons of pillows. They're asking everybody for medicine and things of that sort, toiletries. But at the moment, there is also a request for people to just hold off a little bit on the donations. They're trying to build infrastructure to hold everything. I'm pretty sure they're getting a lot of things in like pretty quickly, and it's all piling up. And it's also probably one of the reasons um, people are thinking that Red Cross and I don't know, they might also be, holding things back. But that's part of the reason that a lot of the things aren't getting released yet because they have to have places to put all this stuff. So they've been asking people to just hold off a little bit on the donations, not because they don't need them, just because they need to house them somewhere. They can't just keep them on the back dock of or on the dock, under tarp and stuff like that. So
I didn't think of
yeah,
that.
yeah. So it's going to be a lot of confusion between the people who are trying to help and the people who need the help. Because one, there's a lot of people who need help, and two, there's a lot of hands that are going to try to be helping. But also three, there's also a lot of hands that are trying to help themselves on island. It's sad to say, but during a catastrophe like this, there's a lot of people who in their heads, you know what I'm saying, they have that idea mentality of, well, how can I benefit from this without helping the people who have been hurt? So yeah, there'll be a lot of confusion. Hopefully they can all get together, especially the leaders of the Hawaiian community out there. Um, they're a big voice to the people there, and I know a lot of people are frustrated, especially having to do with talks of bigger companies coming in, land developers trying to buy the land out from under people. Um, they're the only developers are the only people who have money to, I guess, rescue the land once the development starts to get back going. Once they start recovering, sorry, this edible's hitting with the wrong time. But yeah, once the recovery starts to get going, there's going to be a lot of land developers, big companies coming in. They're the people who can restore the land to what it's supposed to be. Because through the fire, it's going to be a lot of pollution, a lot of poison to the land. Um, And those guys have the big money that they can come in and with geologists and stuff like that, determine what they can do to fix the land and rebuild there. And these families, um, it's going to be a challenge for them not to sell the land because a lot of them are going to need the money. But
Damn, yeah.
yeah, it's I liken it to how in Samoa when FEMA came down, um, your land was by like I guess Oceanside. Uh, FEMA deemed their land unfit to build on because of course the hurricane came, destroyed your house because it was by the seaside. But that's I mean that's land. Uh, in Manua, I know there was developers that tried to come into Manua. They wanted to build like a resort golf course there and hotel. So they were there really trying to build, buy up
In
land too. But
Manua?
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of untapped land out there.
Yeah.
Lot of potential for things like that. Like, can you imagine millionaires wanting to go somewhere where they don't have to see people who want autographs, who want to catch up with you, or you can really just go to Manua and disappear.
Like private
And
undeveloped land.
yeah, private undeveloped land, beautiful beaches, and now since the skills are better at growing this stuff, some of the best weed you could ever smoke. I'll tell you that. So
That is where I got weed in Samoa. It came from Manua.
yes, uh, the homegrown botanists that live in Manua, they're pretty good at what they do now.
He gave me a bag of wet, like fresh weed. Like it had to be dried. Like I had to pick it. He just gave me a bunch of stems and like with weed on it. And I was like, oh, I have to like figure this out. I was like fresh.
Yeah,
Plant your own.
yeah. Hey,
Uh, go ahead.
but yeah, so now yeah, there's a lot of people now. I mean, man, the donations, especially money wise, and I've seen donations in the billions already for some of these
Yeah,
nonprofit groups, and it was within a matter of days, not weeks, not months, a matter of days. It's past the $1 million mark already. I know there's like 3 groups already that have raised about $4 million. So I think the challenge now is getting the money to the right people and putting the money to the right places when the recovery starts.
they're definitely going to need to make sure that things are accounted for, things are being used properly, people aren't misappropriating. Uh,
Yeah.
Mike Fiso up in Seattle. You seen any videos, reels about the fires in Maui or where people
Um,
could help out?
Most definitely. I went to Gonzaga with one of my homegirls. She was on the basketball team. Her name was Mikey Tejada. And the Tejada family, they got a lot going on in Lahaina, and literally they lost their whole
Yeah.
house. Her grandpa was big with that local football team, had like memorabilia from like the last 40 years. Uh, and so they lost everything. So I saw a GoFundMe for their family that I donated to. And honestly, it just makes me kind of sad, also angry, because like they asked the president today, like, what do you got to say about this? No comment. Like that's lame as fuck.
Yeah.
Like the response teams, there was no sirens telling people like to go to
Something was
safety or
happening.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it just happened so fast, and it seems like it could have been prevented in numerous ways, or didn't have to be this bad. So it's just terrible to see, like, you literally look out and the whole landscape, everything's gone. Like there's nothing there. And yeah, and like we're giving billions of dollars to other countries. Like, come on, at least
There's
throw a billy their way. At least, come on, President Biden, do the right thing.
I know the lack of federal emergency response has been something that people are pointing to. Like, yo, this is one of the worst fires in the history of the country, and there definitely hasn't been as much support. Where like people in the community feel they have to step in and bring the donations, bring the water, bring the necessities out, or they're even like shipping them around certain bottlenecks of red tape or the Red Cross or whatever sort of FEMA setup that's going in. We've seen videos, and these are just first, accounts from people on the land. They're short. They may lack context, but we've seen videos of complaints where people are trying to get the donations to the people that need them, but they're being stopped by either the police or certain, I don't know, like FEMA is telling them they can't do it. They have to donate it to a certain place. You can't just take it to the people that need it, and it's definitely causing a bit of an uproar, a bit of a stir in the community that feels like it needs more urgent help. Definitely people stepping in to take care of towns, homes, memories that are now lost forever. Mac, want to pick your brain here. What is the kind of community response in the Bay to seeing the fires in Maui?
Yeah, definitely. I think like other regions where there's a lot of us congregating together, we still a lot of close ties back to the islands. From here, whether we all got like folks out there or friends even out there, and even just visiting out there and knowing what like the spirit is like out there. Because for us at least, just like I wouldn't say it's not too big of a poly community out here, but the community always feels small because everybody knows each other. So it definitely feels different when we go to Hawaii and you kind of see like your people everywhere. It's like a bigger conglomeration of people. You feel like really at home at that point. When you come to Hawaii. So I think it definitely feel that, but it's been good, man. I definitely see a lot of people coming together, and of course, my mom, the work they do, Pacifica by Design, and a lot of the other SCDC and a lot of other local groups coming out here, coming together, putting stuff together.
Hey, yo, shout out Pacifica by Design. Shout out Mackie, SCDC. Yeah, everybody doing work out there. We definitely see a lot of their work through PBB, through the shows, the broadcasts, everything that you guys posted. Man, and it's encouraging to see that sort of community work. And we're also seeing that, in Modesto with Eri and just having that community because we're not big. We don't have any super big groups out here. So definitely doing what we can with the people that we have and showing up. Forrest, did you say there was a certain donation place, or I know people were concerned about scams, like not knowing if the millions of dollars was going to the right place or if it was going weird? Like what would you hear people saying to do, like how to check that or any other donation places?
There's a lot of Native Hawaiian programs out there that those are probably the ones that you want to check out first because they're really going to be directly helping the people there. They're also tied in with Red Cross and those guys too. So a lot of the specific ones that I was sharing on Instagram, I sorry I can't name them. I was just sharing it because my cousin was popping them out to me. But yeah, if you look for a lot of these, I guess the ones that you've seen before raise money, the Polynesian groups, the Native Hawaiian groups, those guys are going to donate money to. Also, hard to say, not say Red Cross, but also because there have been times where people have looked into Red Cross and they're not always honest with their things. So just keep an eye on a lot of so for us here in the PDX and in the Bay, there's a lot of small businesses right now that are doing. I know there's a couple of food trucks here in Portland that all their proceeds today are going whatever they're selling today, all the food they're selling today, whatever proceeds they get from that, all goes to the relief fund right now for Maui. That's amazing. I've seen a couple of people who work for airlines out in the Bay. They're gathering together with people for Hawaiian and Alaska, especially the people that are from Hawaii. That they've been able to secure containers. So they've loaded up I think they said there were about 4 containers out of SFO right now that have already left, and there's 4 more waiting to be shipped out to Maui. So just keep your ear. I mean, especially a lot of the Polynesian community-based programs that we're accustomed to seeing out, in force helping. I know the Bay Area has a lot of them. We featured them on the show a couple of times. So yeah, just the regular people that you're used to donating to. So there also have been a couple of cases already where people had set up like GoFundMe's are cool if you know like who you're sending the GoFundMe to.
Yeah.
You know, like direct family, like Mike was saying. But there are programs out there or people out there that have put out like just vague, really vague support Maui. This is a GoFundMe to support Maui. And people have questions. They're not necessarily trying to scam you, but they also don't know who to get that money to. So you're gonna donate to them, and either the money's gonna get there late, or it's gonna sit for a long time and not, be able to help people when it's supposed to help people. So just
Yeah, I
be
can see that.
yeah. I mean, I know they have good intentions of making these GoFundMe's, but sometimes it's not the way it doesn't work the way they want it to work.
I
Especially if you
understand
don't know.
it not being the most efficient way to pool monies together, but I do like can see like it, people are trying to do something, and
Oh yeah,
especially with us that are like on the mainland right now, it feels like we can't do anything but send the good old thoughts and prayers right now. But there are like real action things we can do, and we want to try to compile those. We'll definitely be making a post about that. I know people were worried about scams. Mike, do you think people are really scamming out those $1 million donations, or is that just people kind of
They're
fear
probably not
mongering?
getting $1 million. I feel like the ones that get to those levels are usually pretty legit. I would say like if it gets to like the 10,000s, then people start figuring out, oh, this shit's whack. But I mean, there's anybody who does that is super lame. Like, don't be capitalizing on people's pain and suffering. Like, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? And
That's
like, honestly, it sucks. Why do we gotta front the bill? I feel like this is the U.S. took that shit over, right? They stole it, whatever. Now you gotta fucking front the bill,
yeah,
man. This is your shit. Come handle it. And it's colonizers' fault that this even happened. Like, they would divert all the water from that area to all the sugar plantations and shit out there. So it just made it hella dry for like the last 40 years. And people in that area have been trying to fight to like have water rights restored to the area, but you can't win because the freaking big corporation out here pay the way. Golden rules with the gold makes all the rules.
America.
Fuck yeah. Fuck no.
Yeah, bro, we gotta make an America fuck no song. Oh,
But yeah, man, honestly, I'd say just go to your local Hawaiian food restaurant. That's where I've been going, and they're all doing a bunch of fundraising, and I'm gonna eat the food anyway. So like, I would definitely enjoy it more if I know I'm giving a couple dollars back to the homies.
yeah. I'd say yeah. If you know anybody local to Maui or in Hawaii, I'm sure they probably have a better grasp of the situation on the ground and could help you out, and point you to like a legitimate place that could use your help. I know
yeah.
Noke and Hile Tango up here in Portland are gathering supplies and will be for a while, right? Because to them, it's going to be a marathon. This is not just, give one
No,
time and it's going to repair everything. There's going to be a long term repair and recovery process for this island. So we definitely know that Noka and Hile are credible family that is has the uh, are able to get donations down there too. They're planning on flying them down. If you're in Portland or San Diego, they're flying donations out of those two spots. So we know at least those guys we can get donations. If you want to donate, if you want to keep donating, I know they said don't. We got enough water, we got enough food, but again, we talked about even housing that stuff. How long is it going to last? I think they probably need some of those things to continuously keep getting sent down there. So definitely, expect to hear more from us about Maui and how you can help and the situation on the ground in the months to follow.
yeah.
And all,
Just
and,
one
yeah,
last thing too, because Maui is uh, a lot. Lahaina town is a big part of Maui, but Maui also is more than Lahaina. So, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, but they also have been prized by some of the folks, local businesses on island, trying to let people know they also love Lahaina, but they also have to live. So if you don't live on Maui, and you're putting out stuff like "Don't go to Maui" or "They don't need you there," the rest of the island, some of the small businesses, they do need tourists.
Ah,
They do. I'm not saying, I mean, go as an exodus to Maui, but Maui, the old man that I seen his post, his thing was Maui is open, but Lahaina is closed. Because there are some dumb shits
yeah.
who are literally living in shelters on vacation, laughing about it because they're practically still on vacation. Like they'll live in the shelters with the people who have lost their homes, but they get to go out and still go to a beach somewhere. And so if that's you, don't go to Maui.
Oh, wow. They're having their vacation from the shelter. That's interesting. That's fucked up. Oh, just taking out your like beach chairs and stuff past the family that lost their home, and you're like, oh, we're gonna go down get some shave ice. We'll be back.
Like if that's you, you can leave Maui, stay out of Lahaina. But the rest of Maui probably still does need tourists to come out there. Not a whole bunch, but just to put that out there for some of the small businesses who thrive on that part of the economy.
I think I saw John. Was it John that posted that? John Akapo?
John and
Uh,
John's big in Maui, man. Like John is Maui. I mean, if you go to Maui, there's a lot of people. So shout out to John Akapu because I know a lot of he doesn't post it, but I know he's got a lot of efforts going out there helping Maui. He's also very close with my family that's out there. So I was born in Maui. My mom's sister still resides in Maui. So Maui strong. But
so the Maui is closed posts are talking about, don't be coming down here for vacation because the resources are already tapped out and we're not
right,
going to have enough to support people, just coming down for the week to get some sun. But you're saying that there's also business owners that are like, I mean, some of you can come and still spend your money here because that's what we need.
it helps the small business.
Oh, okay.
It's like I said, it's going to be a lot of confusion. There's going to be a lot of people going back and forth about it, but everybody has to live, and no one's hurting more than the people in Lahaina. But if the other people don't have their business going strong, they can't help you in Lahaina either. So I don't live on island, so I know a lot of people will be like, "Well, yes, you're right, I don't," but I do have people who live on island that thrive on that part of the economy.
Well, the economy will definitely stay open. We saw during the pandemic, shit shut down, but businesses stayed open. You can still go get food. You can still
Yes, I
go
worked
to the
the whole pandemic, man. Fuck the
yo. You
pandemic.
working at the club during the pandemic? You strong,
I,
bro.
I was working at the club. I was at Home Depot. They didn't give a fuck.
They said,
The
hey,
essential worker working at the club.
yeah, essential workers keeping the economy going.
Right? Hey, man, people still gotta go to the strip.
Nice. All right,
Hey,
yeah.
hey,
So
love, man.
definitely stay tapped in to this podcast and definitely follow us on Instagram. There's a bunch of people that we've been able to repost, and we'll definitely post stuff about how you can help
For
people recovering in Maui. Let's and before we get to
Lighter note.
before we get to the second episode of last Saturday with Mac, the late night show. You're a San Francisco 49er fan, right, Mac?
Yes, I am. I was born and raised. Some people are become great, and some are born great. You know what I mean?
Born a Niner fan? Where did you grow up? In San Francisco?
I was born in the city. Yes, I was born in San Francisco, but I grew up around the Bay Area, a lot of parts, but mostly in Vallejo.
A lifelong Niner fan. We have a Raider fan here. I'm a Chargers fan. Mike is in Seattle. He's a Hawks fan. You guys are division rivals. We obviously all I've seen a lot of the Niners lately. The last couple of years, you guys been, killing it in the playoffs. Playoffs isn't something that the Chargers do well or, a lot. Um, but seeing what is it like right now as a Niners fan? Is it pressure? Is it like it's just waiting for the playoffs to start? What is it like?
It's it's hectic, man. It's hectic. It's bad. It's crazy because at least for me, I grew up and had to hear like my dad and my uncle saying like, "Yeah, Niners are the best. We ain't never lost the Super Bowl." And then I grew up, and then they done lost every Super Bowl I watched. And so, at least for my generation and definitely the generation above, they're all like getting that itch, like they're entitled. They're entitled. They're like, oh, we should be winning another championship soon. Like, brother, you know how hard that is. Uh, but, but I think it definitely is getting worse just because they've gotten so close so many times now that it definitely feels like there's so many. There's a couple pieces away from getting it figured out and winning that whole thing. So
I I would love to be in a Super Bowl, for the Chargers to be in a Super Bowl. Oh man, that I feel like it's a good time though. Like even though you might not be stepping away with the championship, you're there in January. You have a shot. That's not true for all the other teams in the league. You talk about just being a couple pieces away. Last year, you guys traded for Christian McCaffrey, like one of the best running backs in the league. I think Mike, what was the name of the D tackle they signed to start free agency? Like uh what was this? Who'd you guys sign?
The
from the
Niners.
Eagles,
Yeah, Hargraves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hargrave.
yeah.
Like, do you feel like those pieces have been added, or is it still, it might be you might run into a hiccup along the way?
oh yeah, no, I think those were all necessary pieces. I mean, when you think about they're a couple of plays away from the Super Bowl last year, and they're on their third string quarterback. Like it just kind of emphasizes that, like, hey, this team is really about the defense. The defense and the run game is really what runs this team for real. Obviously, they had Jimmy G at quarterback for so long, and five other guys last year, and still made it to the NFC Championship. Then as sad as it says that know, quarterback doesn't matter until it does, obviously, for these guys. Um,
I heard they were going to bring in Philip Rivers if they had managed to beat the Eagles there. That's crazy. I mean, I would have liked to see that, you know, freaking
Yeah,
old Philip Rivers slinging it back there, just like I don't know what's going on, but Debo's down there. Ayuk maybe George Kittle. I like
Got
that
another
guy.
child.
My 13th kid. Yeah, that was gonna be crazy. Um, Mike, as a Seahawks fan,
Ooh.
what is it like going up against the Niners in the NFC West? Is it a rivalry? Are you guys worried when you have to face the Seahawks or when you have to face the Niners? Do you feel like
Oh my
you
gosh. It's
might
the most
have the
stressful
edge?
games of the year. It's the most stressful games of the year, honestly. Their defense is so good. Like, if Brock Purdy doesn't go down last year, they probably win the Super Bowl. Like, Nick Bosa would fucking eat Patrick Mahomes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, they have a first team all pro at every level on that defense. Like, it's ridiculous. And their offense is nasty as well. Like, once Brock Purdy got his stride, uh, they have so many weapons on offense. You got George Kittle, you got Brandon Ayuk, you got Christian McCaffrey, and then like Jawan Jennings and all these other guys who can make plays at any time. So it was just, and their offense is set up so crazy. Like Brock Purdy didn't have to do shit. He just fucking sit there, 1, 2, 3, boom. Oh, the guy's there, easy. That's why I was like, damn, his offense is really built for all his strengths. So I think that yeah, it's gonna be crazy this year. I think the games will be closer. Last year they whooped our ass 3 times. We went 0-3, and I was like,
yes,
damn. So I show respect. I know the Niners are good, And I like it when the Niners and the Seahawks are on top of the division. Fuck the Cardinals, fuck the Rams.
Oh, those Cardinals.
Um,
They're chilling this year.
but yeah, I seen that Trey Lance is quarterback 3. That's
Oh,
that's gonna be interesting. He didn't look very good in the preseason game. I think he's still trying to work out the kinks, but it's Brock Purdy's team for sure.
okay. So in Brock Purdy,
Yeah.
the last pick in the draft, what 2 years ago, Mister Irrelevant from 7th round pick to taking the Niners to the playoffs. What was he like 7-0 or more than that
Yes,
until
yeah,
that last
one
game?
until he hurt himself. That one, but yeah, he was undefeated all then.
Hey Mac, what's the feeling for Brock Purdy? Do you think he's legit, or do you think he just got lucky last season, or do you think it doesn't matter? Kyle Shanahan can make it work.
I think no, I think especially after watching, shout out to Trey, but after watching Trey, Jimmy G, and see some of these other guys steer the ship, you see Brock Purdy just the numbers don't lie. He's a little bit more efficient, and when you can be quick with those decisions and efficient in this offense, like Michael was saying, like with these playmakers, you can't get yak easily. You know what I mean? You just got to get these guys the ball, and having McCaffrey as a running back for like your dump off play, like that's your last resort is McCaffrey going off on people. Like you very much can do a lot of things with that.
Yeah, shout out, man. When the Niners were using 2 3 different running backs, but they were like getting maximum production out of them. And then last year they trade for one of the most electrifying people out of a backfield since himself. Like him and Debo Samuel have changed the running back position, but now it's just like a bunch of weapons, just like a buffet. Like too many weapons. Is there any sense that the Niners are like there's anybody that's like mad they're not getting the ball, or is this like a cohesive unit? They're cool. I don't know. What are the vibes from Niners camp? Any problems?
Yeah, I think they know. I mean, if you ever pay attention to the Niners, durability is an issue for sure. And so it was definitely, I'm sure, a concern when they traded for McCaffrey, given his history. And so I don't think they officially said it, but they've kind of shown that it's going to always be some sort of running back by committee here. They're not going to run McCaffrey the whole game, right? You don't want to, especially it's a long season and they're trying to make it longer. And so I think the Niners are just kind of shifting more towards a running back by committee, but without explicitly saying it. And I think even the guys behind that, so one of them I think already got hurt. So
Damn. That's
yeah,
yeah, there needs to be. I mean, I can see that, running back by committee definitely helps keep people fresh and hopefully avoids the injuries. The Niners aren't playing 17 games. They're trying to play 20, 21 games. So it's a longer season for them. They do have to kind of manage that. And it's already a place where running backs get hurt because, I don't know, there's so much running. And then you traded for a guy that, recently had an injury history. So there was questions there, but I mean, Christian McCaffrey in the Kyle Shanahan offense. I know people are dreaming,
Fantasy dreams, bro.
yeah,
Fantasy dreams.
just taking him with
numbers.
the second or third pick or whatever, like or maybe even first overall, and just riding the volume and the high averages that he's going to get, just from the way that Kyle Shanahan schemes him open. But I don't know. I think the biggest question mark for the Niners is that quarterback right now, just because Brock Purdy, late pick, coming off an injury, Trey Lance not showing that well the first game. I know Herm Edwards on Sports Center straight up said he's not ready. I don't think he is processing the game, and he needs a lot more time. I was like, oh shit, that was the third overall pick, and now he's the third string quarterback. I mean,
It's a testament to Sam Darnold. Sam
Sam
Darnold's that
Darnold.
dude.
Sam Darnold is the second. I mean, Sam Darnold's not bad. He's not the worst. Like, he can definitely do worse than Sam Darnold.
I think what it comes down to is I think Trey just needs to play more. You know what I mean? He looks like a guy who needs to play more, and because of those injuries, he didn't get that time. And unfortunately for him, you know, this is the Niners are a good team right now, and there's a lot of contracts expiring and people getting older, and so like that window is closing, and so Trey might get left out. So weird enough that when he first got drafted, I'm sure he thought, "Oh, this is a good team. It's going to be cool. I'm about to play." But now that he's hurt, it's like the same reasons why like he might have to hurry up and either get healthy or get it moving. You know.
Yeah. Trey Lance definitely has not had a good amount of pro reps. Yeah, or football reps overall. Because what did he play? Like 1 year at North Dakota, or college ball or something. So definitely has the physical potentials, but just to be able to see a situation and assess it correctly and capitalize on it, it might take more time. What were you saying, Forrest?
I think he only played like maybe 2 years at quarterback, one good year. But when did he come into college? I think he came into college as like a receiver.
What? Wait, what?
When he was coming out of high school, he wasn't just a quarterback, more than just an athlete. And then, I mean, granted, it's just preseason, but against the Raiders, you don't have to watch that game, even though it's just preseason. My bad, guy. I know it's just preseason, Mac, but who booked that ass yesterday? Anyway.
Talk that.
Yeah, you see Big Body Cisco post the preseason award. Yeah, whatever. Get out of here.
Hey, we would have been doing the same thing if we lost.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. But no, he just like Max said, he didn't look comfortable in the pocket. The first sack he got, he definitely had a chance to let go of the ball, but he bumped it, brought it back down. By that time, the pocket had closed. The touchdown he threw, it went into Shelly's hands. It literally circled in his arms, bounced out of his arms into Dwelly's hands. So even if you don't watch football, you know that was a horrible throw. He just doesn't look like he's making the reach right now. The Red Bomber, I mean, he had a couple good passes when he came in. He wasn't too bad.
He's called Sam Darnold the Red Bomber.
Red Bomber, man. He had a couple good passes. That's funny though that those two. Was it Sam Darnold? What is he, like 2 in the draft? 3 when he came out?
I think he was second.
He was second. Lance third, and they're both undefeated.
Oh, they were in the same draft?
By the last pick in the draft.
Wait.
I don't think they were the same draft, but I'm just saying where they were picked in the draft. And
gotcha.
to sit behind the last pick in the draft, well, I know if they have Polynesian friends, they are getting roasted every time they're around there. Because I'm telling you, I would never let those two forget that. So that's tough. Again, Fred Warner, that's all you have to say about the defense. I know you guys said a lot about the defense, but if Fred Warner is making plays in the middle of that defense, there's not too much to worry about.
It's a lot easier to win games when your opponents aren't scoring what they usually do. When your opponents are only scoring 7, 10, 13 points. Yeah. It makes it easy for, maybe rattle off 7, 8 wins straight with the 7th round quarterback. Well, maybe not easier, but it's definitely easier than just relying on an unproven rookie to see you through.
Right. When I'm coaching basketball, I always tell the girls and the guys I'm coaching, I mean, if we score 2 points and the other team scores no points, we still win by 2 points.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Sam Darnold was drafted 3rd overall in 2018. Trey Lance 3rd overall in 2021.
They got pretty good picks. They also got Cleveland Foro, who was picked 4th on their D-line. So they got some pretty good picks there.
Is it the picks? Who's the GM in San Francisco, Mac? Who's John Lynch.
And
John Lynch to the
Is
Hall of Fame safety.
is he the one bringing in all this talent, or is it the coaching that's seeing it? Or I mean, I guess it would be him, right? He's the GM.
Uh, yeah, they say he's the GM. I don't. I think he's part of like a team. He has, I don't know how much of the work he does, but
Mm.
yeah, it's him, Shanahan, and then I think, like you were saying, even if the Chargers made it to the Super Bowl, that would be pretty good because at least they're in contention, right? Like I think all those failed attempts still gets people interested in saying like, hey, even though this team didn't make it, they're still onto something. And so I think winning and having those players that we already have, Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, etc., Hufna, Hufunga, and even some cornerbacks we just drafted. Like, there's it's a place where free agents would want to be. A team that's on the rise and might have some new people that are filling in those gaps that they didn't get them there last time.
So would you say this season is Super Bowl or bust for the 49ers? And if it is, and the Niners don't win the Super Bowl, what needs to change?
Ooh. I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I
It's
would
like we
say
just need to win soon, is all I'm saying, and then it's gonna be okay.
I will say there's context. I say it depends on. I think if they make it, I think if they make the Super Bowl, that's good enough for some people to stick around. But I think also the way that contracts are structured, I just don't. Some of these people might have to go. I think IU. I don't know if he got repaid, if he got paid yet or something like that. But the Niners aren't going to be able to afford all these people. So I won't say that. I think the window is probably this year or next year, if I'm being honest. But depending on how this year goes, and I think that I'll rest on the health of Brock Purdy, uh, that, that might also taper expectations. I think if Brock Purdy's hurt and is in and out, then I don't think people are expecting Trey Lance or Sam Darnold to take us all the way.
I want to see Brock Purdy at his best. Like, it's definitely gives the team a little bit swag when they got somebody they believe in, and I feel like they definitely believe in Brock a bit more than they do in Trey Lance. Or I'm not sure how they're feeling about Sam Darnold. I know he's going to be a competent quarterback, and I feel like he's actually going to play a little bit if they need him to start the season. Mike, do you think the 49ers are Super Bowl or bust? Like, what is the feeling in the division?
I mean, the Seahawks are Super Bowl bust too, so I'm
He's
just
just
kidding.
like,
Nah, I
we're
think
all
they're
Super
win.
Bowl or bust.
I think Mac is right. Like it's this year or next year because you still had that rookie quarterback. I'm waiting to see what Bosa do. Like they need to figure out his contract, but I know he's definitely down to lock it in for at least. I say he probably signed for like a 3 or 4 year extension. So you have him, but like then paying Fred Warner, Hafunga, all those cornerbacks. Yeah, it's gonna get expensive. So I would imagine, like Max said, this year or next year for them to like really push. But honestly, I feel like we might be the thorn in the Niners side. We could be this year. We're like building our team to fight your team. So just like we're gonna try to like air it out, attack the corners, attack the middle. It's like a lot of receivers. We got like 6 running backs. So we're ready for if any of them go down, we'll just plug and pop by committee. So I'm excited. I'm excited for those battles. Those games are always the best.
Yeah, ready for these rivalry games, and just football back in general. Um, Forrest, sorry, did you say you got to watch the preseason game, or
Yeah.
you're just like we won? No, okay. Uh,
I
watching your team. I mean, I know we were talking about Aiden O'Connell looking comfortable, but on the other side of the ball, how did you feel about the 49ers? I mean, as you were beating them by so many points, you're saying.
As an obnoxious asshole fan, again, I always looked, but But I mean, you have to take it with a grain of salt. It is preseason. Not if there were starters that were playing, there weren't many. Um, for us, it's good depth on the D line because those guys. Anything against if I have to say anything bad against the 49ers offense besides Trey Lance not being ready, their backup O line they didn't do much yesterday. I think the first play of the game for us was a sack. Um, and again, none of the starters on the D line played yesterday. It was nice to see Isaac Rochelle because I'm also a Notre Dame fan. He got a couple of sacks yesterday.
Nice.
They had the rookie linebacker Aubrey out of Florida. He's back. He was able to chase down Lance on one of the sacks. So it was good to see. I wanted to see the starters since in the backfield, the defensive backfield, because there's a lot of talk about those guys with Marcus Peters being there, taking the helm as the lead guy back there. Jacorian Bennett, who I saw a little bit at Maryland, just because Talia plays out there, Talia Tua. So I mean, I watched that somebody go playing out there. He's pretty good. He's smaller, but he's got the attitude that you want, like from a rookie. He can come out there, he can play. Again, Nate Hobbs. If Jacorian Bennett can play the outside, it moves Hobbs back to nickel, where he's arguably one of the better nickel backs in the league right now. So I think we're really struggling at linebackers. We don't have many, I guess, proven linebackers. You can tell me that Spillane and Ivan Diablo played really good against the Niners offense in practice. I'm still going to be like, okay, so it was practice. It was a good practice. So I won't get, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure those guys were going hard, but again, it's still practice. It's controlled. So yeah, from what we saw, we didn't see any starters. So if I had to say anything, our bench is better than the Niners. But
your rookies, your practice squad.
Aiden O'Connor did look good. Even though it was preseason for a rookie to come in and do what he did pretty good. He was under control. Everything that Trey Lance wasn't, that's what Aiden O'Connor was. He was under control. He got the ball out at the right time. He wasn't holding the ball. He didn't take too much time. The biggest thing also is there's always been talk about McDaniel's offense being complicated. It seems like the team came in and just like runs the offense pretty smoothly. So to his, and again, Purdue quarterbacks, Drew Brees, they're pretty smart. So I'll give it to him, man. He looks like a smart kid out there. And everybody's talking about comparisons to Brady, him getting picked late, coming in, and having to play behind people, just the poise that he has. So that's pretty lofty for him. I hope that doesn't stick with him because that expectation can ruin your career. People are like, "Well, you're supposed to be like Brady." Brady didn't even know he was going to be Brady.
You're supposed to be Brady.
Brady left his house because he didn't get drafted and then walked down the street trying to beat people up. But so it's gonna be exciting though, and that's why I watch preseason because we're gonna get to see a lot of the guys that we're not gonna really see regularly in the season. So I'm just hoping that we can get Jacobs back into at least talking with him about signing with the two running backs that signed today or are about to sign today. It might put a little bit more pressure on him. We do need him. I mean, he's a really big part. He was the number one back last year in the league in yardage. So you can't tell me if you're a Raiders fan and you're sitting there like, well, Zeus ran the ball well. Well, he's still not Josh Jacobs. So,
do you know how much Josh Jacobs is asking for? It's a contract dispute, right?
So yeah. So for the franchise, I think he was going to get around 10. That's what he was promised as the franchise tag. Okay. But I think they were offering him 12. I think he wanted something in the area of like 14. So, I mean, if they can get in between that, but 12, and then after, so Saquon signed for 12 or 10, but with
plus
the incentives.
Kicker, yep, incentives, yep.
So, I mean, that could be very well what Josh Jacobs, maybe that's what they could do for him. That'd probably be the best for Las Vegas' front office if they can do something like that. I understand, man. The kid was homeless. He lived in his car for it. You know what I mean? He lived in his car. first thing he bought when he got paid was a house for his pops. So he knows his value. He wants to get paid. And at the same time, you're not better than the market. You know what I mean? So it's
The
tough.
market is rigged against running backs. We've talked about that. They're definitely not getting paid.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that. Yeah, it's a whole episode. But yeah, so again, just like both Mike and Matt were saying, Frisco's going to be good. For the last few years, they've always been in the playoff race. Um, I think that just if Brock Purdy can play like he played those last 7, 8 games, then they'll be fine. He doesn't need to throw for like 7,000 yards. He just needs to throw for enough yardage to win the game.
But that,
You know?
yeah, that's the other thing. Like his air yards are probably a lot lower than like whatever the average is of the people that are completing the same amount of pass yards, because he can hit a slant or a drag or a screen, and it'll be schemed so that they're so wide open that they go 30, 40, 50 yards down the field. And that all counts as passing yards to a quarterback.
Yards after catch is a big thing when I'm not gonna say their coach's name because I don't remember because he's a minor. But in his scheme, yeah, yards after catch is big, which is why having Debo, having McCaffrey on that team, IU, those guys are super big with yards after catch. And I mean, thank God we're not in the same division. Sorry, Mike, but your defense is gonna have a hell of a time just trying to chase them after they catch the ball.
Yeah.
After the corner. We drafted that guy just to chase Debo around the whole fucking field.
Devon Witherspoon, you got 19. Just follow him around.
Right, you better hope he don't catch though.
Yeah, he might get burned though. Debo's super fast. Debo run like a pit bull.
That's what I'm saying. So just make sure
he's surprisingly
he don't catch.
fast. You know, he don't look like it, but he's fast.
No, I mean, what is he like? He's got to be at least like 220. The guy is huge. You know what I mean? And I understand he don't want to play running back. He can get dinged up all the time back there. But if he gets the ball in your hands more often, you know what I mean? You're probably better off.
He's like, I don't want those. I don't want those running back touches or running back salary. Okay, I'm a fucking wide receiver. All right, I'm a wide receiver that can do it all. But don't talk to me like I'm a running back. He held out at camp last year. I heard something he was talking about. He didn't like fully work out last year. He didn't really put his all into it because during the contract dispute, and he like didn't feel like himself last season. But this season, like everybody else in training camp or the preseason, best shape of my life. You know, so
killing
ready.
It.
You know, I'm absolutely focused. Everything's going great. Time to slam into 300-pound bodies for a couple weeks and see if you're hurt or not.
You know who else came into their last camp in the best shape of their life? Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown? Oh my gosh! Before he decided to take his jersey off and leave Tom Brady standing there.
Cautionary tale: if you can come into the best shape of your life, make sure it's mental too, not just physical.
Debo Samuel's 40 time at the 2019 Combine was 4.48.
Yeesh.
He runs faster than a 4.48 or a 4.5.
I don't even think my car's that fast.
Sorry, Mac, what were you going to say?
I don't even remember, but yep, it's good.
Yeah, the Niners. I think the Niners over under on the win total is 11. I think a bunch of people are definitely taking the over there on a 17-game season. But yeah, we'll definitely be checking them out. I know a bunch of Niners are on people's fantasy boards with so many weapons. Do you? How many fantasy football leagues are you in, Mac?
Oh man, as long as my girlfriend's not watching this podcast, I'm on like 3, maybe 4, just for no reason. I don't know how to say no. I'm competitive and I like money and I like wasting it. So I'm in like 3 to 4 for sure. And it like by the end of the season, I'm in like two. You know, like I start drop like people start kicking me out. Like it's not good. It's not. It's a bad 3 to 4. You know. But I'm trying, and I don't put any Niners on there because that's extra stress. I get
Ooh.
let down twice. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to avoid them. Except McCaffrey, that's probably the only person I would take.
Do you have a like a strategy or an outlook for this season? Are you targeting wide receivers early? Are you waiting on quarterbacks? What's your vibe for drafting this year or
I,
auctioning?
I, I think I'm always I don't know. I think running back is probably the most important to me because of how uh, I guess how scarce the position is for fantasy to me. Uh, um, receiver, you can get a lot. There's a lot of receivers, a lot of even wide receiver two, wide receiver three that'll still get you good numbers. So I think running back, there's only like a few that are elite, and the drop off is pretty high. So I try to go running back first, and then I play the board, man. You know, you can get off people. You know.
Yeah, definitely feeling the draft and how it's moving, seeing if there's a run going. I like kind of scoping the total league draft board and seeing like, oh, that guy already has three wide receivers. I can wait on wide receiver. He's probably not going to take one. Oh, that guy really needs a quarterback. Let me take one real quick before there starts a run on that. There's definitely uh yeah, drafting is fun. Um, what are hey Forrest? What's your fantasy strategy for this year for the Ballinesian Fantasy Football Podcast League?
You take all the good running backs first, so you guys have to trade for them.
I can see it. I mean, the running backs are scarce, right? You got the couple elite guys that you can count on, and then like Max said, it drops off after that. Whereas wide
I'm
receivers, everybody has at least one wide receiver, on their team that's good, or
I
you
try to
hope to
get
pick up some more.
my two running backs early because again, those guys are versatile. You know, they catch, they run, yards after catch, uh, short yardage. More than likely, they're going to get the handoff for the touchdown. So there's a lot of ways they can score for the league. And I know you were talking about how wide receivers are, their value has gone up a lot just because the league is a passing league. But again, if you get down into the red zone and it's like a first and goal, second goal on the 4 or the 5, more than likely your running backs are going to get the ball and punch it in. So, and but also on that note, you got to look out for the guys who are like Ramondre Stevens. He was pretty good at the goal line, but he was a running back by committee. But you knew he was going to get the ball at the goal line. There's guys like that, just that are maybe specialists, goal line specialists.
Ramondre or Ezekiel Elliott for the Patriots at the
Like,
goal line.
and so now Zeke, I think, is going to be interesting because um, Bill Belichick again, he might be doing it again, taking one of these old guys and making them a star again. He's been known to do that, and I think it's a good environment for Zeke. I think the guys just wanted someone to go where they wanted him. Um, and he's already put into discipline. Mike was just saying that he had to cut his hair to get on the team.
So Belichick
You know,
told him, "Hey, go ahead, cut your hair
hey,
before
hey,
before you show up to practice." Okay.
Ash, go cut your hair and come to practice. So, you know, I think it'll be good for him. Dalvin Cook in New York, just because Brees Hall is also on that team, who I thought they would have just had more confidence in, but you can't argue with putting Dalvin Cook on the team. That's going to be two guys in the backfield. We'll see how they share the ball because before his injury, Brees Hall, he was killing it. He was out in New York as a rookie, just he was running over everybody. So depending on how he comes back from the injury, that's going to be interesting. I don't know if Dalvin Cook's that number one running back anymore that you want to pick. I think he still got a really good two or three more years in him, but just because the backfield he might have to share carry more than he did back in Minnesota. But he's also a good pick because he can catch the ball over the backfield too, and having Rodgers back there throwing for you that helps a lot too. Their O line sucks though, so we'll
Oh,
see.
what? I
Yeah,
think. I mean, I just watched the first episode of Hard Knocks today. with the
Oh,
Jets, and it was very pro Aaron Rodgers. It was like
I
like
know.
the narrator showed up to practice, like to say hi to him. It was apparently the first time he's ever gone to a Hard Knocks practice. I was in New York to see Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a big fan. Leave Schreiber, like Saber, in the old. I'm sure
yeah,
he's in other movies. You guys know what I'm talking
yeah.
about. But he shows up to practice, and him and Aaron Rodgers are like, "Oh, I love your work. Oh, I love your work. Oh, I love your work. Oh, I love your work." And then it's just like a super bro fest. But then apparently it's the first time he's ever showed up to a production practice. So
Hmm.
yeah, big fans of each other.
Yeah,
Uh,
I respect him, man. He took a pay cut, so you know.
according to Hard Knocks, everybody on that team loves him. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes for the rest of the season, for the rest of that show, and for the season. Mike, do you try to target running backs early, or how do you? I know it depends on league rules or whatever, but is there a general strategy you like to keep?
I was actually thinking of implementing the zero running back philosophy and just go after the top receivers, create a commonwealth of receivers, and then trade like the bottom half of them for running backs down the line. I'll see. I'm gonna try that in one of my leagues and see how it turns out. I'm kind of nervous. Have like 5 wide receivers, hopefully in the top 20.
I
And yeah.
I need to find I did a zero running back in 2 different leagues last year. I got Justin Jefferson, like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Cortland Sutton, a bunch of really good receivers and decent-ish running backs. I ended up having to trade Justin Jefferson for a running back for running backs. Yeah, and also that was not smart. But I was like floundering after 3 weeks, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not ready for the zero running back mentality because these running backs just aren't doing it." But that is also implemented in the zero running back strategy. Is your first couple weeks you're going to lag behind the rest of the league, not only in terms of running back production, but overall, because at that spot you're going to be so far behind. But over the course of the season, as running backs tend to get injured, your mid-level running backs will graduate to a position of higher volume, higher usage, and more points. And then by the end of the season, you're just hitting high receiver one. You got multiple wide receiver ones, and you got a running back one, a decent running back two. So yeah, if you can
Yeah.
stick with it, I couldn't. I freaking panicked.
That's why you're good, man. You do all the number shit. I'm not. I'm too dumb to do all that shit. I just do all the number shit, man.
I'm just
I,
listening to what the people that have podcasts and write articles are saying, but you know what? It doesn't work for me. I haven't won fantasy football in a long ass time. So I need to probably just switch it up and do some shit that's, Constanza and just like do some opposite shit. But
I will.
I mean,
As long as Mahomes and Kelsey are together, Kelsey will always be my first receiver off the board if I can get him.
damn. I yeah, he doesn't have any competition. Like,
Right.
like Kadarius Toney's injured, Sky Moore is still, just a second year player. Travis Kelsey
Even
is legit.
even if
Target
they
hawk.
were healthy, that he's gonna get the majority of the catches on that team. So
Wait,
yeah.
who? Say that again?
I said even if those guys were healthy, he won't get as many, but he still gets the majority of the throws to because that's just a relationship. You know what I mean? He trusts that guy with his life on the field. So.
I thought it was like a trifecta of, Patrick Mahomes' arm, Tyreek Hill's speed, Travis Kelsey's just hands and underneath moving.
I
So
thought that would have been
when Tyreek left, I thought it was done. I thought, well, Travis Kelsey's getting old. Mahomes, he's going to be like, they're going to be able to lock in on his main receiver, tight end. And I know at the beginning of the year, the Chiefs lost some games, and people were like, oh, see, this is what happens when you can't take the top off the defense with a guy that has 4.2 speed. Now that Tyreek's gone, it's over. And then Juju Smith-Schuster, Mecole Hardman, like a bunch of other people step up, or Patrick Mahomes elevates, that production, and they end up in the Super Bowl and winning it. Was that Mahomes? Was it Andy Reid? Like what? How did they get around not having wide receivers?
All of that together. You know what I mean? All of that together. The scheme that Andy Reid came up with, the skills that Mahomes comes up with, and then everybody else just knowing that they don't have to do too much, they just got to do enough. Don't spread, don't try to go out there and be Tyreek Hill because you're not Tyreek Hill. Kobe, McCole Coleman, Juju was perfect for them. If he took, if you can't take him off the top, then just run Juju through the middle, and he was big enough to do it. He wasn't afraid to go across the middle, and so now he's with the Patriots. So
hey, shout out to the Polynesian pipeline in New England. Freaking Juju, Kendrick Bourne.
They got Giovanni there.
Tuale.
Got one of the kids from the Rock, straight from the Rock. Equality, yep. So, he had a pretty good preseason game. He had a couple of sacks, so that's always good to see. Big there.
It's football is here. We're watching preseason games. We're getting ready for fantasy football season to start. Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays are all going to be very active again very soon. I'm happy for that. Last Saturdays specifically. Last Saturday with Mac. How did this start? What is the plan? What's going on? We saw you guys perform on your IG live, last Saturday, and we got another one coming up in a few weeks. What can we expect? What's good?
Hopefully a smoother show. There was a lot of cool moments that we had, and there was definitely a lot of lessons that we learned from the first episode. I'm sure y'all know from when y'all look back at y'all first episode and be like, damn, I can't believe we used to do it that way,
For sure. What were some of those hiccups that you guys faced?
Sorry, I think I got a bit of a lag here.
Oh, sorry.
But we rocked through it. Some of the hiccups that we face, I would say, is networking issues. Something I'm trying to troubleshoot on my own. We did a trial run, like a live run, went live on like a fake Instagram page for like around the same amount of time. We did as if it was the live show itself, and we didn't have any problems. But then when we went live, and the more people that joined, I believe the more bandwidth was needed for us to stream, and so we didn't meet that with our current setup, our last setup. So now we're going straight hardwire Ethernet, and hopefully that'll solve that issue. We also had I got in-ear monitors for the performers because I've done something like this before where I've had like a performance show, or at least I've tried before, and I know for performers they like to hear themselves sing live in the mic and make adjustments. And so the transmitters I got for those didn't work. They were like radio transmitters. I don't know why I listened to the Amazon suggestion, but there was also Bluetooth transmitters, and I was like, "What is it? The 1960s? I'm over here with radio transmitters, bro." Like, I feel like rookie mistakes, but things we learned and definitely like adjusted in the time. But now also afterwards, like, all right, we gotta buy different stuff or set up some different things. But we've seemed to correct those things, and we'll see how it goes moving forward for sure.
Hey, you live and you learn, but definitely, taking those lessons and applying them to the next show. You guys you got the lie gear on. You had Aileen. You had who else? Tina Malia. Who's going to be performing this month at last Saturday?
Yeah. So when does this show get released?
This is going to come out tomorrow. So August 15th, Tuesday.
Yeah, cool. I think we'll drop both of them then, because we're dropping a second announcement tomorrow, but we talk about it here too. So earlier today, we announced JF is a rapper, Samoan rapper from San Francisco. He's done a lot of great stuff. He recently just did a video shoot, and it was a barbecue / his birthday, so he's just having a grand old time and making music, uh, providing dope visuals, and he also has like a different sound too, which is cool. Bay Area has like a certain sound that's popular right now. If you see online, you'll hear it. There's a certain like mob music sound that we have right now, similar to
Yep.
Detroit sound. And I think JF is kind of separate from that. So I appreciate that. And tomorrow we'll be announcing Fee. She's a singer who was also from out here from the Bay Area. And she just dropped her debut album, Musicality. And she's been touring all over the place doing shows, hitting the grind. And so far, those are two that we announced. And we got two more announcements coming up. August 22nd, August
Nice.
26th, actually. We'll be going live on my IG at Mack.Moli. I don't know why they couldn't give me the Mack Moli without the dot. I'm pretty sure I own the other one, but me and Instagram and Google haven't figured that out yet. But yeah, you just pull up to my Instagram and yeah, we'll go live and just watch us perform for your pleasure.
What is
Can't
this?
believe it.
8 p.m. Pacific time on August 26th.
8 p.m. Yeah, so we're going. The whole show will go live at 8 p.m., but we're doing a pre-show at 7. We actually have
Nice.
DJ Big Cali, who's a friend of mine. He's going to be doing a set this past Friday was the 50 years anniversary for hip hop,
For hip hop. Yep.
and so we actually got Big Cali who's going to try to do his tribute to 50 years of hip hop, but like a Bay Area version, and so kind of touch on some of the older rappers and music and try to put it together in a pre-show set and
Nice.
line it up for us real nice. So that should be cool.
Yo, getting the vibes right before the show starts. I like it. What if people want to perform or want to they just get in contact with you, or do you have a like already a list of the next couple shows set up? Like, how do people kind of get on this platform?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. And so, one thing that I wanted to touch on for this first season was like, I feel like groups that aren't represented well enough in the music media Bay Area scene, I guess.
Mhm.
And so the first episode was like the Holly episode, as you mentioned. I Got Lie, A Lingy, Tina Malia. This next episode is like the San Francisco episode. The city,
Hey.
is has has long been like a hub for great music and great musicians to come out of, but it's also been affected by gentrification and a lot of people getting displaced, and so to see that like this new music scene coming out of the city coming again is dope, and so trying to highlight that. So I do got themes for like the next couple of episodes, but I still don't have slots. I'm still reaching out to people and connecting dots, so feel free to DM me or even the show. I think it's last Saturday late show. So
Nice. Yeah, we do. I mean, we definitely love seeing Pacific Islander artists get put on and really raise that platform. And but even as a producer to do not just Polynesian or Pacific Islander artists, but sections or different themes uh, is also really cool to see. And we like to see people putting out content that is positive, productive, really representative of their people, their community. So yeah, man, I'd love to see what you're doing. Shout out to you, Mena. Is it Mena? Samena
yeah,
photographer,
I was
cinematographer.
I was gonna say my sister. Yeah, I definitely got to shout her out and shout my mom out. I feel the same way of being like, I love seeing the work that they do. Inspired me to get up and make my own show. And lucky
Nice,
for me, my sister is talented, and my mom still has a lot of equipment, so we're able to make it happen that way. And here comes the show. So definitely shout out to them because I couldn't have done it without them either.
But
nice.
we just shout them out because during the time, long time, you get in trouble when people back to the house. We just shout them out.
What, you don't care about what I do?
Yeah, I guess you don't care about my cameras that you use.
No, now you can take a picture. Now you
Yo, the production behind that is dope. And yeah, there definitely were, I'd say, bandwidth issues. I know I like froze up a couple times, but I would like hop off, hop back on, and then it would be going again, or another performer would be on. But yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Anything, any lesson you learn, you just apply it to the next one, and your shows just keep getting better and better, and putting more people on. I'm sure it's gonna grow and quickly. It's people are tuning in, tapping in. I know the comment section was going crazy the entire time. Definitely a fun community event, right? That people were engaging with, and yeah, we love to see it. I'm sure more people will get on. But so, is there any desire or possibility that people don't have to be in the studio to perform? Like, did you guys have like a cutaway of a different performance somewhere else in there?
No, so it's so basically the setup is we build multiple sets in one area, and for me, there's multiple inspirations. Obviously, you have all the performance shows like Colors, Tiny Desk, etc.
Mhm.
But for me, it was some of the older inspirations too. Like there's this show out of like England called Later with Joel Holland or something like that. But he would basically have a setup where the camera would be in the middle and it would just cut to like four different artists. It would just pan to four different artists. Um, so I wanted to do something that kind of felt like that, but with different backdrops and different settings. And so we work in last episode was out of a Noble Art Cinema Studio. It's a production studio in Vallejo. This following episode will be out of a production studio in San Jose. And same kind of setup where we have four artists come in, we have them pick their own set, and then we go live to them, and they perform two songs and just go crazy and go off. And kind of like you said too, like I was trying to make it a Bay Area platform, not just a poly platform, because for me, our music is it's not it shouldn't just be boxed in, with just the island music. I think we're making good hip hop and reggae for even just hip hop and reggae standards. We're making good R&B for R&B standards, and so
Yeah,
to be able to put us in the same category as all the other people that they try to categorize ourselves, and make a show that says, "Hey, now we're all one Bay Area. We all got these sounds, and this is what it is." I'm excited to do that and grow it from there.
bro, and we're excited to see it. I'm excited to tune in, to last Saturday. And the show also has a Instagram page. Was it last Saturday with Mac?
Yeah, last Saturday late show.
Okay, last
Yeah,
Saturday
last
late
Saturday
show.
late show. Yeah. Um, Reasons why that's the name, but we'll sneak peek and come to that a little later. Spoiler. We'll
Ooh,
trying to bring new concepts, to even just the show itself, but also every episode. Um, Even just the way we're like able to stream live from, like you said, you're like, is that pre-recorded? But like, nah, man, we just building sets and going live from there. So we're just trying to provide a different experience for the viewer.
yeah.
can.
Um, do you guys have any like musical production performance notes for last Saturday, or what you guys want to see, or more artists, different sets? Forrest, Mike.
I'm old, man. I don't know any pieces and bounds.
Yeah, I just recently I'm new. I just followed the page Mack.Moli. Everybody tap in. So yeah, I'll be there August 26th, 8 p.m. So
Hell
I'm
yeah.
not sure what it's about to be about, but I'm excited and interested to learn more. So I'll probably have some. Nah, probably not. I'm not trying to tell you how to do anything. Just keep doing what you're doing.
No, man, we need it. We need it. It's all good. Hey, you gotta learn. You gotta listen to the people, man. You can't be too confident in what you're doing, and I'm just naturally not, anyways.
Bro.
That's so Max in the Bay, so he has like an unlimited amount of like talent out there to put on the show, which is dope. I mean, if for anything like the guys that are coming out of Utah, then when his brother
Oh man, yeah.
D-Mac, man, they put on good music. Of course, one of our very good friends, Steffa, he's speaking of Steffa, he just dropped a new album. So if you want it early before it's on these streaming platforms, talking about a little $5, $10 here on Venmo.
Hey.
He'll drop the new album. I just seen Bad Boy Move, Tasha 1K, and Craig come out with the song. So there's a lot of there's so much you can do on the platform like this, and it's dope though because one thing that you're doing out there is there's a lot of kids who probably won't have the access to anything like this until you came out and started making that out of it. So it's gonna be cool to see not just the people that we already see, like we've seen AD on a lot of features, not just her stuff, but again, she's done a lot of songs with Tati 1K. She got one with Steppa. So
Brandon.
it's cool seeing these names that we see out here already in the industry, but it's gonna be even cooler to see people that Mac finds like, in some garage somewhere, that ain't none of us heard of, and Mac gets to put them on, and then you see in the later show, that we're gonna shout out Mac for putting them on. That's gonna be the first show they've ever performed on. That's gonna be dope to see. So yeah, man. Uh, you may not know the importance of it now, but a couple shows down the line, when like I said, when that one kid just sends you a message thanking you for putting them on for the first time, and then you start seeing it more shows, you're gonna feel like just it's gonna be heavy for you, man. Because yeah, man, if no one's gonna tell you, man, I appreciate you for doing this for the people who didn't have this outlet, and now they do. So that's big shit, man. Especially in our community as part of music. So
Yeah. Having those outlets and the opportunity that wouldn't have came to you unless you guys pulled this from idea to actual event and are putting it out. So shout out to y'all, shout out to Mena, Daki, everybody out there. Make sure to follow and check out Mack.Moli on Instagram. Check out the IG Live at 8 p.m. on August 26th. It's the last Saturday of August.
if there's one person we want to see on there, man, you got to get Ebron there to do a poem or something, man.
Ooh. Yo,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, hey, you gotta link me, man. Link me, man. I'm definitely trying to. I definitely like a lot of the names you mentioned. I mean, I performed the first episode, but that was only because other people couldn't make it, and one of them was Cepha. So I did want Cepha on that first episode for sure. I think that would have been like my perfect first episode. You know what I mean? Like as far
Yeah,
as like getting my variety and balance of like artists and stuff. But no, I appreciate your words, man, and I'm a shoot. Even the people from the first episode, Lingy, Tina, and Lai were saying like, bro, this is good for us to have. It's kind of like the Bay Area Island Mogul. We
that's
all look at,
Hey, yep.
we all
hell yeah.
love what Island Mogul's doing, and how they're growing the music scene for the polys down there in LA. So for us to build stuff out here in the Bay, I'm excited. I didn't think of it like that, but hey, we're making it happen. So excited.
Dope, man.
Love to
I
see
love
it.
it.
Uh, Mac, we appreciate you sitting down with us tonight and letting us pick your brain and really hear about everything from the Niners to what you got going on with the last Saturday with Mac. Before we wrap, do you have any shout outs? Any people you want to say hey to? Go for it.
Yeah, since we're here talking about the show, yeah, just want to shout out Cinematographer on Instagram, my sister Tina. She's the other half brain. If I'm the left brain, she's the right brain for the show. We're putting it together, making it happen. And of course, you got to shout out the team behind the camera too, Lena, Marilee. Not Lena, she didn't show up. I love you, Lena, but Noah, Marilee. It's just my family, but Noah, Marilee, I love y'all. I was there, Jessica, Virgil, and Off 80 Media, of course, covering it. And Lena, I'll give you a shout out anyways, I love you, and I said you on accident, but I love you. But yeah, thank y'all. So, shout out to everybody for listening to the podcast, and shout out to y'all for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Damn, Lena. Show up. Oh, nice. Appreciate you. Mike, any shout outs this week?
Yeah, I want to shout out to all my Lealofi, Pongai Malo, Solipo family. We had a family reunion this weekend. I had family come from Cali, Utah, I say Cali anyway. Hawaii, Oregon, it's all over. It was a great time, and we had a blast. Except, because we were the host city, I didn't get to have that much fun. I
You had
was,
to work.
I was slaving away, but it was worth it. Everyone said they had a great time, so that's all that matters.
What was that food like?
What?
What was that food like?
Oh man, it was crazy. We had like so many cakes. It was catered, and then one day was a barbecue at the park, and then the last night we just was drinking.
Drinking. We drinking again.
Yeah, wow. Woo. But yeah, so they all leaving probably like tomorrow. So shout out to all them if you guys are listening. I told everyone at the family reunion, hey, yeah, I'm on a podcast. We talk about Polynesian shit. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully get some viewership on the up and the up. And also shout out, it's kind of sad news. It's just broke an hour ago. Former Seahawks draft pick Alex Collins, running back, passed away today. So shout out to his family. Probably he's only 28, so
yeah.
sad. Yeah. So that's sad. Shout out to him. But if he is the Illuminati sacrifice for us to win the Super Bowl,
no,
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
No. R.I.P.
I'm
Alex
just kidding.
Collins.
R.I.P. Alex Collins.
He said, "Put his helmet sticker on. Everyone, fight harder." Forrest. You got any shout outs this week?
Oh man, hey yo, shout out to the girl at Nectar Juice that has been coming there for the past 3 weeks and said, "Hey, you look really great today." Really boosted my confidence. Thanks, young lady.
Forrest been grinding in the gym, okay, every day or almost a lot.
Count out. We got is it less than just about a little bit over a week to go. We head out to Oahu for my brother's wedding, Illinois and Winona. So it's gonna be a good time. Like I said, I didn't get to eat too much at the Poly Fest. Now that I'm in Hawaii and I won't be doing any work, I am going to eat everything in sight. And so I get there 11:59. I'm going straight to Zippy's, eat some Korean fried chicken, and then in the morning I'm gonna head over to Shiro's in Eva Beach and get a adobo fried rice omelet. Y'all don't know, put you on right now. Shiro's in Eva Beach, fried rice adobo omelet. That's what we're doing. So I'm gonna take pictures because I'm kind of a photographer. So look out for the pictures of the food. There's gonna be a lot of videos of Lance eating as well because he'll be there. So it's about to be a good time. Yeah, shout out to my coach that fit now and are loose that are gonna be tight on the way home.
Hey, yeah, there you go. So that worked out for months to get in shape and get into the clothes that will barely fit after we eat all the food.
I just need to fit into my shirt and pants for the wedding, and after that, I'm good.
And after that, you can just put your ear on and keep eating.
Yeah,
I'm with it.
exactly.
I'm with it. Yeah, I'm excited to do that. Yeah, shout outs this week. Definitely to you guys. Appreciate you guys for coming on as you do every week and really sharing our perspectives and thoughts and figuring stuff out. Definitely shout out to Mac. Appreciate you coming on and everything that you're doing with last Saturday. Shout out to Mena, Naki, everybody really putting on and putting together to make that come true. And yeah, man, we're excited to continue to see what happens and how the show goes. Yeah, also shout out to Willis Haviland Carrier. who invented air conditioning in 1902.
Dang.
Thank you so much. It's 105 degrees out here
Yes,
today,
sir.
and this is Oregon. This is the top of Oregon, and it's 105. And I'm just like, it's not supposed to be this way. I
I
thought it
thought
was going to be snow and rain when I first moved here 7 years ago. It's been long ass falls, hot summers. I'm like, oh, climate change?
man,
Is that you?
I walked outside. I I honestly thought that I was back in Samoa. I was gonna head into the garage, the weed eater, put in my. That's what I thought. It was so. I was like, this heat is taking me home. Why are you taking me home? I thought we were gonna do a working them Among or something. Shoot.
Bro. Yeah, that's definitely. I don't know. It's a heat wave spike. Hopefully, it goes away. But definitely, if you are in a hot area, freaking stay hydrated. Uh, don't go all wild and get heat exhaustion. Again, for the Maui fires response, shout out to Noke and Hile Tango. We'll definitely be linking them. Check our story. Check a post that we might be able to make. Yeah, and listen to what the people on the ground are saying. You know, Google it to make sure it's not a scam. And there are things that you can do besides just praying about it. But definitely going to have to do some research and figure that out. But yeah, again, thanks to everybody for listening. It's been a great episode. For Mack Moli, Mike Fiso, Forrest Dodelau, I am Lance Falitongo. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next week. Stay hydrated, stay blessed, stay ballin', love and light. Peace. Yeah.
Nice.
Bro, appreciate you coming on today, man. What is this? Oh, here we go. How much?